Oh, well.
Forgot,
Yeah.
she's really in charge, I forgot.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Now you're okay.
You want the guy in charge or the girl that knows what's going on? We will call this meeting of the Seneca County Commissioners Tuesday, August 8, 2017. Please join me in the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, short prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for this wonderful day. Congratulations to the Attica folks for their fair opening this morning. Please give us the wisdom to do what is in your will for the people we represent. And a special prayer to all those men and women who are fighting for our freedoms and their family. We ask all this through your Son, our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, we will start outside the agenda a bit here. Mayor Chu, you have something to present to us this morning?
You want a roll call?
Oh, we're going to do roll call. We're all here. I'm trying to roll ahead here. Yes, go ahead, roll call.
Commissioner Kirchner?
Yeah, here.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
I'll just present his resolution and he can follow up with anything he needs to.
Very good. We've got a couple of things, yes.
Resolution declaring necessity for levy of taxes in excess of the 10 mil limitation pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Sections 5705.221 and 5705.25.
Okay. I will accept a motion for approval for this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirchner?
Yes.
So this gets it on the ballot?
That is correct.
No, we don't need to take any further action
Uh,
ourselves.
I don't believe.
It will have to be taken to Board of Elections after it's signed by all of you guys before tomorrow. Tomorrow's the deadline, so we should take it on today just to be
Take it
safe.
down and take care of it.
Good idea.
Correct.
And I just want to remind everyone why this is on here, because because of a change in the way that the Ohio Department of Taxation looks at this levy, there has to be a new replacement levy on in Seneca County for the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board. And so although this is a new action for us, it's an old tax. So it's important that we continue to tell this story, because this levy is going to need our support. People are going to need to understand what it is that they're voting for come this fall. And I just took a look at the website, and I think it's important that we steer people to the website if they don't understand what you're doing. And they can just Google Mental Health and Recovery Services Board and find out what it is that you do. I looked at the vision statement. It's healthy, stigma-free communities with resources that support recovery. And what we're talking about is generating resources for the mental health board at this point. So, some of the stats I looked at were 2,000 face-to-face interventions last year. That's amazing. And how long have you had the crisis hotline? It's been years, right?
The hotline, we had it for many years. The text line, we had it just 6 months.
Yeah, so the 1-800-826-1306 is the crisis hotline, and that's been in place for years. But, just to show you how adaptive and with the times the board has been, they've added in the last 6 months, Text for Hope, that's 741 and 741, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so, this is an important resource in our community, and we need to continue to support it, so.
Thank you. To everybody in the room, yes, we had this levy in place since 2008. In reality, we can continue to renew it, so we have to discontinue the current one and put on ballot a new levy. So in reality, our biggest challenge is voters going to see additional tax. In reality, it's a tax that you guys have been paying for since 2008. All we want to do is be able to continue that. So again, it was a little legality issues with Department of Taxation, the reason why we have to change this. So we really appreciate everybody's support. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Question. It's actually, correct me if I'm wrong, it's actually going, the ballot language is going to say an additional tax, is that correct?
That is correct, yes. It cannot say renewal or replacement,
Right.
but the legality term.
But once, if it passes, you're going to cancel the current levy.
Correct.
So that people are only taxed once.
That is correct. The current levy will be discontinued, yes.
He can't say replacement levy, but I will.
I already got that. Thank you.
Thank you. It is really critical. Obviously, we have state and federal funds, but those are just for specific resources that we can use for. I would say that with the levy funds, we use 2/3 all of our levy services in school or for children. Reality is that we don't really want to say, but all those will be 100% discontinued if this levy is not to pass. We're just not allowed to use state and federal funds for in-school services or for mentoring or suicide prevention education towards youth, which are very important things.
How much is this anticipated to, how much revenue is this anticipated to bring in?
Around $800,000 a year.
Okay.
So actually what the board did, the current levy, it's a 0.8 mil. The new levy gonna be a 0.7. So we actually will be less because we didn't want to generate more. I think we are very financially responsible and accountable as a board. We want it to be fair to taxpayers. We want to make sure they understand. So we're trying to keep it the same level.
Thank you, Richard. Okay, do we have anything to add to the agenda, folks, under new or old business before we go on?
Do you know, were you gonna add something to comment about the?
Well, we just talk about it in discussion
Okay.
about the White House visit.
Oh, we want to talk about the, is it Medicaid? The income that we're getting from the state, 900,000. So I just want to mention that and the way we account for it as we go. All right, well, it's past 10:30, so we should have all of our bids in for the Wolf Creek project. Any preliminary thoughts, engineer, you'd like to give us before we open them?
Great.
Just praying? Prayer's a good thing. I second that.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch with you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Engineer's estimate for the Wolf Creek Petition Ditch project is $315,000. The first bid is from H&H Land Clearing out of Middlefield, Ohio. The bid is $224,995. She's been mentioning the bond and next bid is from Unalliance Incorporated out of Oak Harbor. Their bid is $219,825, 219,825. Next one is S.A. Seidel Construction Company out of Holgate, Ohio. Their bid is $342,335, 342,335. This is, if I murder this, I'm sorry, Tatawa Tree Service out of Ottawa, Ohio. This one's not marked, so give me a second. Maybe. $35,832, 235,832. Next bid is Tree Works out of Coopersville, Michigan. $284,228.85, 284,228.85.
That's
That was my 4:30 Kentucky guy here.
Trying to read his name. Last one is MTM Enterprises out of Moorhead, Kentucky. This bid is $266,675, 266,675.
Okay. We've got through the bids, and we have a sign-up sheet going around, everybody's got that done?
Yep.
Good, very good.
Assume
Thanks,
we're
Mark,
sending
for
them with you,
all
and you
your
guys
hard
will make a
work. Yes.
recommendation.
Yeah, we'll
back to
take,
the
we'll
board.
take them back and review them and check out all the credentials and everything and make a recommendation.
Great. If you could just send us a bid tab when you get it done, please.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll probably come out, we'll be done with that in the next day or two, then we'll get the recommendation out shortly.
Great, thank you.
Appreciate all of the bids
Okay, thank you,
received.
thank you, John.
fantastic.
And once we're ready to award this, Mark, I think then it'll be a good opportunity to kind of go over what it does cover again with people
Right.
and what is covered in the contract, and then the fact that the ongoing maintenance then
Can handle future issues.
can handle the future issues, because I
Right.
think there's some discrepancies on what can be included and what can't,
Yeah.
and so forth, but that way we would know at that point if we need to inquire about concerns of other types of things that might need permitting, and if we need to do that or not. I mean, I don't know, but obviously, so there's been some issues brought forward to my attention, I don't know, and to others or not, but.
Yeah, and a lot of that, I mean, if I can just mention, we did not address sandbars in this particular part of the contract, even though they're part of the petition. They can be taken care of because they are part of the petition. A large majority of these sandbars are either going to be taken care of naturally because they're there because of the log jams and because the trees are there. And there's no point in us paying for something that nature's gonna take care of naturally over the next couple of years. There are other ones that are in locations on the inside curves of ditches that we would literally be there every year taking out. We are not going to waste taxpayer money to do the same thing over and over and over again. And then there are some that we will need to address over time. And so, you know, that has not been forgotten. It's just in being prudent with people's taxpayer money, thought it best to wait and see.
It's a huge step forward, this project.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you very much.
Have fun reviewing.
Thank you.
Good job. Fantastic.
The first topic I have is kind of old new business. John,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the journal of the minutes?
Very
We skipped over those earlier.
Oh, I will do that.
Somebody got
I
that
should sing to the
together.
script, huh? Okay, I'll accept the motion to approve the minutes of digital recording of the previous session from Tuesday, August 1st.
So moved.
Now second.
Thank you. I guess we are all in favor, so we will consider it approved. Old business. This is kind of old new business under Medicaid. We have, as everyone probably knows by now, been allotted a replacement for the sales tax in the amount of $900,000 by the state. That will start as of October 1, 2017, and that is our allotment for the rest of 2017, and then for the year 18, which happens to be 15 months, which happens to be $60,000 a month if it's accrued over that period of time. So we have the choice of taking it into income and immediately in October. We have the choice of accruing it in different methods. I would suggest that we instruct the auditor to have a separate account from which we can transfer on a monthly basis, so that we all have a good sense of what the income is over the period of those 15 months. So that we take it in when we get it in October and accrue it over 15 months at $60,000 a month. I don't think we need to vote on that or anything, I just think that
Yeah, I agree.
makes good sense, and if it's okay with you guys, that's how we will instruct the auditor to do that.
Yeah, I think the bigger question is trying to get a handle on what our revenue is going to be for 2019, and, you know, what kind of adjustments we're gonna have to make to the expenditure side of the equation, because that loss in revenue is going to be permanent. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of talk about doing something to make us whole as well. Starting in 19, I know there isn't anything concrete, but as we sat here a year ago, nobody had any idea that this would be taken care of in this manner either. We was pretty sure that we were gonna lose everything as of July 31st, I guess.
Yeah, and we don't know who's going to be governor. I mean, Kasich was very clear that this was transition funds and that we needed to transition away from it. So, but, you know, it's something we'll have to look at closely. It's budget
Well,
time.
anyways.
Because it's 4.5% of our revenue, right? It's what we-
And Budget Commission will be able to obviously know that revenue is coming in, scheduled monthly, or however you suggested it comes in, to know that those are revenues that'll be available when they do the cert and all that stuff,
Yes.
so. the end of the
Exactly,
year.
whereas if we receive it all in October, it would be held in carryover as opposed to
Right.
revenues coming forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Seneca County Comprehensive Plan.
I asked this go on the agenda just because we will need to appoint 2 commissioners to serve on the steering committee. Charlene's here if you want to ask Charlene any questions, but she had sent out the email verifying the establishment of the steering committee for the comprehensive plan. And we've got the list in a separate email then of who's so far, or the makeup of that. But it includes 2 commissioners, so I thought we ought to discuss here.
Before
who
I
wants
make my
to-
motion to put Mike and Holly on it, I know I do have a question. Is the plan funded, or what's going to be the funding schematic for developing the plan?
It is partially funded at this point. We've applied for further funding from the RCDI grant, and then we will seek out further funding as we move forward.
Do we have a total all-in number for what this planning process is gonna cost?
We have a very basic estimate, and it's a guesstimate. It's not a good estimate. It's just several of us who are in the know kind of have an idea. Could range anywhere from 100,000 to 200,000, depending on which entities choose to join in, that is municipalities. The 200,000 is at the very, very high end, and this is a number that we've received from some other regional planning offices that have done joint plans.
And are the other entities that are named in this planning process, are they committed financially, or is no one committed financially?
The only financial commitment we have is that we've set aside from regional planning at this point in time. We want to move forward with getting the comprehensive plan RFP put together, and we would like to look at 2 alternatives to add to that for both municipalities, and leave it in the municipality's decision whether they would like to join in to pay for their alternative, and we would like to discuss that during steering committee times.
Okay. And when I make my motion to put Mike and Holly on this board, I don't want that to be construed as a financial commitment, because we've not had that conversation here that I'm aware of, to put any money
This is
into it or aside.
This is not a financial commitment by saying you're going to be on the
I
committee.
understand that.
Right.
I want you to understand that.
I already know that. No, by stating that you're on the steering committee does not state that your entity is committing any funds towards this project. It is saying that you are vested in this project because it represents your community, and you have a right as one of the team players and one of the jurisdictions that it will represent, that you have a say in this plan.
And
So-
technically, we already have a commitment because of the assessment increase was designated and is set aside for the plan from all the stakeholders of regional planning.
Correct.
So that's how that was budgeted.
So, Cheryl, you mentioned that regional planning has set aside money. How much money have they set aside specifically?
We have approximately $40,000 that we set aside towards comprehensive planning. and we are going to use a very, like, not even 10% of that, or a little over 10%, towards our consultant fee that we're paying for the application that we applied for the RCDI. And then we will then
So
seek
you-
further
I
funding.
mean, you're relying on some money from that grant to help fund this,
If we were to receive it.
if you were to receive it. Okay, how much is the grant?
The total grant is 82,000, and we were looking at, I believe, 50 to 60,000 from that grant that would go towards the comprehensive plan, because that grant encompasses other projects as well, so we cannot just put the whole grant towards comprehensive planning. There are requirements of training and other things that go with it that we've already submitted.
And would this plan encompass the city of Fostoria and the city of Tiffin?
Yes.
Okay.
The comprehensive plan for Seneca County already encompasses the city of Tiffin and the city of Fostoria. They're light dives, as we like to call it. They're a glaze over the situation and over what they would like. The alternatives that we would like to request when we do the RFP are for the city of Tiffin and the city of Fostoria, so that they could each have their own deeper dives and have their own comprehensive plan that's incorporated with the larger plan. While one is being done, it's just as easy to try to do all three, because you're gonna get a better rate, because the information they need for Seneca County is the information they need for both the cities.
And have you had any conversation with the city of Fostoria and the city of Tiffin?
We've had
regarding-
conversation with the city of
Let
Tiffin.
me finish the question.
Oh, sorry.
Regarding their financial commitment?
We've had a conversation with the city of Tiffin, and they prefer that we have the steering committee and go through this process so they can vet the commitments once we get further along in the process. And we are going to start conversations with the city of Fostoria. Again, alternatives to the RFP, so it's not a required commitment for them if they choose, once they see the alternative price, not to commit.
In the preliminary discussions that some of us in the exec committee have talked about is that we realize for Fostoria, we want to keep them included in the process and so forth, but depending on when we meet a commitment, what they are going to possibly be able to do or not do, you know, given their financial situations, and they're getting themselves through that process. And hopefully by the time we're ready for something from them, they know a little more too. We just don't know, but we certainly want to know that they could be included.
Correct.
Okay, any other business? Let's get on with appropriations then. Oh, I guess, do we need a motion for people on? I think it's just an appointment.
I think it's just appointment
Actually,
and
it's appointed
agreement.
by the chair.
Yeah.
And so I think that, you know, your motion may not live long.
About to die a quick death, I
I will appoint Mr. Commissioner Stacy to the steering committee. Congratulations.
I need to review the bylaws.
And I don't want that being construed as a financial commitment.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Appropriations. What else do we have?
Oh, I just wanted to talk about the
White House visit?
The White House visit. We got invited to visit the White House.
Is it dinner?
It's the idea is that we will. What it says is the primary goal is to ensure that we are in contact with the appropriate federal agencies.
And it's a focus for Ohio County Commissioners,
Ohio
correct?
County
Okay.
Commissioners.
That's what I read.
And we,
So.
we'll be actually there longer than Scaramucci was.
That's definitely.
That was worth having this meeting. So I'm planning on going. I'm going to pay for it myself. It does conflict with our board meeting, so I don't know if you guys have any thoughts if you were planning on participating or not.
I thought it sounded like a great opportunity, but I have not looked at my calendar to see if I can make it work at all.
Well, we've never had a commissioners meeting at the White House.
I think something I'm doing outside of this
How would-
county limits is probably a problem.
Yeah, that would be something for history, I'll tell you that.
What's the date?
August 29th.
They actually, you know, I think the last time they said Kellyanne Conway was the hostess.
Yeah.
And
So I'm wearing my
she's-
best socks in case I get to put them on the
Yeah.
couch.
I'm not putting that in. I'm not putting that in.
Okay,
So, it's,
so do you have to pass a background check?
you have to submit, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll know soon, huh?
Yeah?
Did you RSVP or did you need to do that?
No, I'll do it. Thank you, though. But I'm gonna do it on my own dime. I don't mind if you guys travel on county visits, but
All right.
just put that out.
Yeah. I really want to go, but I don't think I can. I gotta look at the calendar.
Okay.
But if multiples of us go, then we'll have to redirect that meeting.
Redirect the
Yeah.
meeting, yeah.
I just got back from reviewing the statute on my own dime, so I don't know how many dimes I
Yeah.
have left. Okay. All right, I guess we now have supplemental appropriations.
So I just have two this morning, supplemental appropriation to the PSI pre-sentence investigation writer grant fund 1226, putting $4,141.45 into other, that is to return the grant to the state. I have a supplement to the child support enforcement fund 2019, putting $2,500 into supplies. This is to purchase supplies for the remainder of the calendar year.
Okay, I will accept the motion to approve the supplemental appropriations.
So move.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes. Okay. Any other topics of discussion at this point? Time for questions, discussions. Yes, Shirley?
I just want to give you an update from this weekend for the first weekend of the mosquito control grant tire collection. When it's the first time and the first weekend, you're going to have some hiccups. We had a few hiccups, and that's okay. Those hiccups just infuriate me and nobody else. But all tires will be totally collected from the townships by the end of business today. And we are, our best guesstimate on count between tractor tires, semi-tires, passenger tires, and smaller is almost 2,000 tires from 5 different townships. The 2 leading townships that collected, I would say, were Adams and Liberty. And Liberty Township had in excess of 600 tires alone that they collected. The tire recycling firm worked till 11 p.m. last night collecting, and they are finishing up today. They have large tractor tires to pick up, so it worked out very well. I'd like to thank all 5 of the townships, which were Liberty, Pleasant, Jackson, Thompson, and Adams, for their hard work with their road crews and their trustees, putting in their time and efforts to collect for those 3 hours. It was a great event. I stopped out at a few of the townships, and people were really excited that they got to drop off their tires for free. And we're really looking forward to the next 5 that'll take place this Saturday. And I can only tell you a couple of them off the top of my head, but I do have the list in my office. Things are going to change just a little bit on how the collection's done. They'll have a couple of trucks, box trucks, and a couple of employees at Hopewell and at Loudon Township to collect passenger tires to make their cleanup easier. And then Monday, they will do the collection. So all townships have been notified of those little changes and just some things to make it organization a little easier. But I'll be out visiting them as well when they go through collection. So all in all, we're getting rid of pesky skeeters and tires.
Are the 3 dates consecutive, so this coming weekend is 5 more than the following weekend, so that's.
That is correct.
That's what I thought, I was trying to remember.
I just wanted to let you know the progress with that and where we're at. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Your Honor, it's always good to see you here. Thank you for coming.
Always a pleasure.
Any other comments? Hearing none, we are adjourned at, let's call it 11 o'clock, huh?